Good afternoon, Australia, and good afternoon to wherever your address might be. To all my viewers out there who watch the episodes on a weekly basis, I'm Barry Teal. Welcome back to the show. The time is coming up to 1 o'clock here on this Wednesday, 28th day of April. And we've got a show coming up for you this afternoon. Well, to kick off the third part of the show today, we made some cornflake and sultana brand cookies, and I can tell you viewers out there, we had fun making them. And joining me now in the studio to tell us all about it. Good afternoon to Steve Wood. Welcome to you. Welcome to our afternoon session.
Barry, again, for the warm welcome. And yeah, we've had a bit of fun making some cookies, a bit of improvisation, a lot of mess, and a lot of fun.
And we will tell you how we got the kitchen and dining area in a mess in just a moment. But I can tell you, or we can tell you, we had a lot of fun making those cookies. And the ingredients were butter, nutmegs. Well, I can't have the normal butter. We had an egg, some flour, some cornflakes, and sultana brand buds. Here's my outsider for his opening view on this.
Yeah, so we had to mix some, actually, egg and sugar to start with.
Egg and sugar.
Egg, sugar, and butter. Then we added the flour and the vanilla essence, and then we all had a go. Barry had a go. I had a go of rolling the cookie dough in the cornflakes and sultana bread.
and
we made a right mess.
And we made a right mess, but that's all the fun of the cooking, guys. So if you want to make the sultana brand and cornflake cookies, guys, all you've got to do is look up the recipe for it, and you can pop some in the kids' lunch boxes and even the adult lunch boxes too. Here's my outside.
That's right. They're a great healthy lunchbox snack, Barry. They'll keep for a while, I reckon. So wrap them in some foil, put them in a nice airtight container, and they'll last for quite a while, I reckon, Barry. So great for lunches.
And remember, like I said with the Anzac biscuits last week on the show, don't go because you won't have room for your lunch or your tea. Here's my outside.
That's right. You've got to be careful how many you eat. I've only eaten half of one. Barry's half of one, but we'll have some more for afternoon tea, Barry, shall we?
Well, I probably won't because I don't want to go. And it's Morris's biscuits sound, guys. You don't want to be filling up on them. Here's my option.
No, that's right. They're good as a treat, Barry, for something to go with your tea, I reckon. Not as a. You don't eat too many.
And don't go. Because, like I just said, you need to have room for your dinner this evening. Now we put the mixture onto some oven grease trays and we use some baking paper. Here's my outside.
That's right. So once we've made the batter, we mix them in the cornflake mix, then flattened them out on the baking paper, on a baking tray in the oven, 15 minutes, about 180 degrees, all done.
But only to find my upside, I had it on the grill, not the oven.
Oh, thanks, Barry. Thanks, Barry.
But that's the choice. That's a legitimate mistake.
That's what you get when you're cooking with an amateur, Barry. Eh?
But you can't. But things always don't turn out perfect.
It's not a perfect world, Barry. So they're not perfect cookies, but they're all right.
And they're good. So on the subject of I've said this on many episodes that I have brought to you on the show. Or should I say, in many of the episodes I have brought to you, if you are using the oven, ladies and gentlemen, and cooks out there, make sure you put the oven at the right temperature before you put anything in. Here's my offside.
That's right, very important, Barry, to get the oven up to the right temperature before you actually put anything in it. So you should put the oven on first, then start your preparation work. That's
right. Okay, and before you start cooking, make sure you've got all your ingredients and excuse me. Make sure you've got your equipment ready and your ingredients. Here's my offside.
That's right. I like to get everything out first, get fully prepared, so I can actually do the complete cook, and then get them in the oven, and then clean up while things are cooking. That's my method, Barry.
And please leave the kitchen as you found it, so that the next person can use the kitchen. Here's my offside.
Yeah, very important. Lots of people think it's someone else's job to clean up, but it's not. It's the person that made the mess.
So as the saying goes, guys, if you make the mess, clean it up. Here's my offside.
That's right. He who makes it, cleans it.
And it's like if you start the vehicle, turn it off afterwards, so that you don't waste the fuel.
That's right.
It's like turning on the lights when it's not even dark.
That's right.
So, once you would put whatever you would bake in the oven, keep an eye on it. Here's my offside.
That's right. It's important to always check before you think it's going to be ready, so you don't overcook it, Barry. So you can always take it out early if you need to.
And don't wait to see how things are getting on. Wait until the time is up. Here's my offside.
That's right. I always like to set the timer early, Barry. So always a few minutes before it says. So if it says 20 minutes, I'll give it 15. If it says 12 minutes, I'll give it 7 or 8 minutes. Then I'll check it.
Okay. And set your timer before you put it in. And another useful tip, cooks out there, make sure that you look at the recipe and the quantity of ingredients that you are going to use. Here's my offside.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. Try and measure everything. Although, I have to say, Barry, I always think cooking's an art, not a science. So you can always add things, take things away, change one thing for another. Yeah. As long as you use the right quantity, you can use different substitutes.
Okay, and once the time is up and whatever it is that you've baked is cooked, be careful taking it out and use oven mitts. is my operator.
Yeah, a number of times I've taken things out the oven, Barry, without an oven mitt on, or with an insufficient mitt to protect me from the heat. There's too many. So yeah, always use a proper oven mitt.
And never let the children near the oven or stove. Is my operator.
That's right. If you're going to cook with the kids, supervise them very closely.
Especially with knives. And I will just pause that so I can get comfortable again. Be back in a moment. Welcome back. Once you have taken the item that you have cooked from the oven, okay, let it cool on a wire rack. Here's my operator.
That's right, very important. You don't put it on a surface that can't cope with the heat. So make sure you put it on a nice protected surface. As Barry says, a wire rack's always the best thing.
Okay, and before you take them, whatever it is out in the oven, okay, insert a skewer. Here's my operator.
That's right. If you can, a clean skewer out the middle tells you the middle's cooked. If things stick to it, probably needs a bit longer.
But if it comes out clean, you're ready to go. Here's my operator.
That's right. It's great for cakes and anything that's like that. That's, doesn't work with everything, but cakes is obviously one of those things. Biscuits is a bit more tricky. Just about timing biscuits.
Okay, because I remember the first time my operator and I made biscuits. They were burnt and they were no good. So please, if you are making anything, for goodness sake, don't forget about the things. Here's my option.
Yeah, that's why I always try and undercook things first. Because you can always leave them in for longer, but if you leave them too long, you can't take time away.
Okay, so oven safety, guys. You need to have a good oven-proof dish for cooking things in. Okay, whether it's lasagna, okay, a pie, a shepherd's pie, a slice, you name it, it's all there. Here's my option.
That's right, you need all these different flat things, bowl things, round things, square things. You need the right cooking tool for the right job.
So, cooking can be fun, guys, but remember, have the right tools to do the job. Well, we've got a fun show coming up for you next week, and we're going to be taking you live to the fish markets out of Piedmont. Here's my operator.
That's right, I mentioned to Barry that we should have an outing, so Barry equally suggested he should do a live show on the fish market. So we're very excited to bring next week's show for you, live from the Sydney Fish Market.
So instead of from the studio, we're going to be taking a van on the road. So to close the show today, we can't wait to bring next week's show to you, and we're equally excited. We'll be kicking off at 9:30, guys. So do stay with us. Steve, Brett, and I bring you the show from Piedmont. And here he is with his closing message.
That's right, so it's going to be a packed show next week. There'll be segments from before we go, on the road, when we get there, all live as it happens. Very exciting.
So join us next week on the show, and we look forward to your company then. And the time is 1 15, I think.
Yeah, 115, Barry. Yep.
115, so from episode 197 from Steve Wood and I now. Thanks for your company today on the show, and Steve, thanks for coming in.
Very pleasure, Barry. Love every minute of it. Great to be back.
And we'll see you next Wednesday at 9:30.
That's right.
And we do it live from the Sydney Fish Markets.
Let's hope the weather's good.
Let's hope the weather is good. But if not, we can do a fish and chip review.
We can. We could get some fish and chips anyway. Absolutely.
And join us next week on the Daily Wraps. This has been Barry Fair and Steve Wood coming to you live from Narrowena. So we'll see you next Wednesday morning from 9:30, weather permitting, the fish markets. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Wood and Barry Fair wishing you good afternoon. Here he is for his
Okay,
farewell.
right. Well, I look forward to seeing you again next week.
And have a good week, everyone. Episode 198 coming up later on. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.